Hello and welcome to Astro Poetica. Here we are going to be focusing on the astrology of June 2019, pulling some tarot cards that kind of reflect the energy that you're going to be experiencing, and also going into the poetic realm to further evaluate and understand the energies that are present. I am Christine of Receptive Tarot and Healing, and this is our very first video, so we're kind of going to get into our flow and see what happens. So, first of all, a lot of 2019 is spent with Capricorn energy, and that is Pluto and Saturn, both in the sign of Capricorn, and they are both retrograde this month. Saturn in Capricorn is a good thing for business, for re-evaluating your structures and getting really serious. So there is kind of the serious tone this year in general. And with Pluto, the planet of revolution, also in Capricorn, also retrograde, we're really going to have to be thinking about our systems and thinking about how we approach things. Because Pluto brings up from the depths oftentimes the things that we don't necessarily want to deal with, or, transformation, evolution. And we all know that evolution is like wonderful and amazing and we're striving towards it, and that it's also kind of hard. And Capricorn is the taskmaster. Capricorn is there to get things done. It's there to be very precise and very interested in doing it the right way. It is ruled by Earth. So all of you Capricorns out there, you love to work hard. You probably love to play hard, but only if you feel like you've done enough work. So in general this year, we've got a lot of work to do. And with everything retrograde in Capricorn, Saturn and Pluto, that work is to reassess. So not so much about forward momentum as far as business goes. And actually coming into June, we're going to be able to really, at least the first part of the month, enjoy some socializing, have a little bit of fun, because there's a lot of Gemini, of course, because June is, for the most part, the month of Gemini. The new moon is actually June 3rd, and it's in Gemini. So the new moon is going to give you a chance to begin new things. New moons are always about new beginnings, and this one especially is going to be based around communication. It's going to have a focus on partnerships, but not just romantic partnerships, also the way that you communicate in partnerships. And partnerships can be anything about business or pleasure, and this gives you a chance to, also evaluate where you want them to go in the future. And I'm also going to kind of throw in a little tarot right now. We've got the Lover's card as a really wonderful way of experiencing the energy of Gemini. The Lover's card, everyone sees it and they're like, love, yay. But it's not always just about love. It's about how you bring together different people, different energies in order to create something new. And something that I really enjoy about this card is that it has a little bit of a key into how to make decisions. And, maybe you want to do some spell work if you're into that kind of thing around the Gemini new moon, because that's a really wonderful, positive time to get some new things rolling in your life. And so sort of one thing that the Lover's card likes to explain to you is that there's a few ways of making a decision, and actually 3 ways that you should look at your decision-making process. So it's always good to begin with your conscious mind, thinking about what you want, thinking about what means the most to you. It's your ego, it's your drive in this world. So you can make a decision based around your ego and based around your conscious mind, but it's also really important to look into the subconscious aspects of yourself. And that's when you move into the unconscious realm. And that's understanding your shadows. It's understanding the way that you approach your issues from a subconscious level. And that's the stuff that's a little bit harder to understand. It's the things from the past that are influencing your future, or the things from the past that you are operating from and not necessarily aware of. So with your unconscious decision processes, you have to be willing to take a really real look at yourself. And actually, June is going to give you a chance to do that. Then the final part of making the decision that the Lover's card kind of talks about is the superconscious. And you can think of that as being what is for the greatest good. What actions will benefit everyone? How do I use the power of decision to create a better world for myself, but also for my friends, for my family, for all the people that I don't even know? So that's something to keep in mind with Gemini and with this new moon in Gemini. The very next day, June 4th, Mercury is going to be moving into Cancer. And that really brings a lot of more emotion into our communications. And at the same time, we also have Mars in Cancer until July 1st. So with Mercury and Mars conjuncting one another, there's this extra emphasis on feelings and family because Cancer is very much ruled by family. So Cancers always want to keep things protected. They're thinking about coziness. I feel like Cancer is kind of one of the more cozy signs. And, thinking about how you can heal your communication with Mercury in Cancer. And again, since we've got all this Gemini energy, the sun is in Gemini, we are going to be really focusing on what we're communicating and how your communication affects those that you're closest to and how you might be operating from these deeper patterns of ancestral karma or even learned behaviors from family. We have some more Gemini energy coming in as well on June 8th when Venus enters Gemini, and that really helps to lighten the mood. It helps to bring in a lot more socialization. So I feel like the beginning of June, really get out there and socialize, communicate, connect with people. So things are going to start to begin to get a little more serious as June progresses. So really take advantage of the earlier part of the month for fun, for manifesting, for maybe taking a little bit of a breather if you can, because we're coming into eclipse season in July. Jupiter in Sagittarius is going to be squaring Neptune in Pisces on June 16th. And this is an aspect that's really prevalent all year long. And this is a time period where you're going to have to check your over idealizations. So let's say you're in a relationship and you're putting it on this pedestal that is maybe beautiful and whimsical, but is it realistic? So we're going to go on to that full moon, and the full moon is June 17th, and it's in Sagittarius. So we've got this full moon conjuncting Jupiter, and Jupiter in Sagittarius is actually a really happy place for Jupiter to be, but we also have Jupiter going retrograde right now. So things are a little bit slow as far as growth goes. And with the full moon in Sagittarius, you're going to want to be thinking about finishing up any old projects that are dealing with travel. Full moons are a time when we need to start letting things go. The new moon, you're bringing in the energy. The full moon, you are casting it out. So once again, keep it really real for this full moon. Double check your details. Resist the urge to move too quickly because, things could, the details could be lost here. So once this full moon is over, we've also got the sun finally moving into Cancer. That is the summer solstice. This is when fertility is at its peak. It's the longest day of the year, and we're bringing in even more of that cozy, lovey, kind of protected Cancer energy. So this is also, we still have Mercury in Cancer. We've got Mars in Cancer. So family issues are really probably going to be coming up around this time, but it's also a good time to be, communicating your your love for your family, to be connecting with family. So maybe take the solstice as an opportunity to bring your loved ones together and just enjoy one another and support one another. We have another retrograde coming in, and that is Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So again, Neptune, illusions, delusions. We usually think of retrogrades as a bad thing. And I don't really necessarily think that's the case. They slow things down. But actually, Neptune in retrograde helps us to break through the illusion. It helps us to actually see things for how they are. Because when Neptune is in forward motion, it's easy to get a little caught up in what you want and what you're projecting, while retrograde is instead like, here's the reality of the situation. And in general, we've had Neptune in Pisces since 2011. So, we've really been going through this spiritual renaissance and this spiritual revolution. This is like the second wave of the new age. Here we all are, like tarot cards, astrology. It's all becoming very popular, and that's in large part due to Neptune being in Pisces. With this retrograde, you want to really be confronting your shadow side. Also taking the time to meditate, to, do the yoga, do the work to really understand your emotions. And with all this Cancer energy as well, it's going to be coming up. So, maybe this is the time to write some poetry about it and to not be so judgmental of yourself, to also bring in a lot of compassion, because that's something that Cancer has a lot of. It's got a definite compassion, and having compassion for yourself is such a huge part of healing yourself and of realizing and remembering that you are just a human being trying to do your best. Remember that illusions getting smashed can really be a blessing in disguise, because it's probably going to free you from what could perhaps be a bigger problem in the future if you stay in something that is not really serving you. June 26th, Mercury is going to be entering Leo. That's going to really bring in the fire of communication. It's going to get us a little bit out of this watery, airy realm that we've been in. And it's going to help things to get a little more heated, which will probably feel pretty good after all of this. We've got all that Capricorn energy, we've got Cancer, we've got Gemini, and it's like, where's the fire? And it's like, it's coming at the end of the month. That is kind of our astrological forecast for the month. We're going to pull some tarot cards, and we're going to see kind of how to deal with the energy and what wants to come through. And then we will have a little bit of a poetic discourse with the stars and with the cards. So I am going to shuffle the cards here, kind of disperse that energy. And we're going to see what cards come up for June of 2019. So here we go. Just going to pull a couple. We have the 8 of Pentacles. We've got the 10 of Cups and the 5 of Cups. So, yeah, all minor arcana cards here. So this shows that maybe this month we are dealing a little bit with maybe the more mundane aspects of life, but I love how much like the Cancer energy is showing up with this 10 of Cups. Also how, we have still all of that Capricorn influence from Pluto and Saturn showing up with the 8 of Pentacles. Lots of work to be done. And then we also have the 5 of Cups, which I actually think speaks a little bit to that energy of Mercury and Mars going through Cancer. So to me, this does look like a time where there's a lot of work to be done. You really should be focusing on your projects as much as you can, because obviously the ball is rolling, and when it's time to work, it's time to work. And if you feel like you've got your flow, then this is actually a really excellent month to take care of business, because the 8 of Pentacles, oftentimes it deals with projects that have been going for a while, where you have actually began to master your craft. You have a system in place and you are just in production mode. So this is actually a really wonderful energy for getting a lot of work done. It also shows that the time and the effort that you have put into creating and manifesting is really going to start to show you profits. So maybe this is a month where you focus on your creations. So next we have the 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups is the card of family, one of the cards of family at least. And this is about the emotional aspects of our family. So you can think about this as being the end of the cycle of cups. This is a card to really take note of what you have learned from your family. And since this is the end of the cycle of cups, it shows that, you know, this man and this woman, maybe they started with the ace, they had this love affair, they went through the various trials and tribulations, and now they are ready to pass on their joy and their love to their children. So again, when I was saying earlier with connecting with family around the solstice, then this is really a beautiful card for it. So from the 10 of Cups, we move to the 5 of Cups. And, you know, with this spread right now, we have a lot of earth energy and a lot of water energy. And maybe the air in the Gemini is kind of coming in with this 5 of Cups because, you know, air and water don't exactly mix well. And I feel like that's kind of where we start to get a little bit of the conflict coming in. Are you looking at the negative side or are you looking at the positive side? And, you know, there is a lot of shadow energy in this card when we've got the sad looking person in their black cloak. Black in the tarot is the color of the shadow. It's where we are reflecting on ourselves. And this sense of reflection, you know, you have to temper it with not feeling bad for yourself, not feeling sorry for yourself, not feeling sad about your mistakes, but instead shifting your focus into what is going on. And, you know, Gemini, the card of duality. Here we've got these 2 cups. So, you know, we've got some duality here. And then you also have the stuff that you have lost, these 3 cups. So I think that maybe this is also a call to make sure that even if you are feeling a lot emotionally this month, don't cut yourself off. Focus on what you have and what you are looking forward to in the future. Family does not necessarily mean people who you came from. It doesn't have to be blood connection. It can also be your friendships. It can be the family that you choose. So be present this month with the love that really resonates with you and communicate it. Share it with people and don't let the past control you. So that is our look at the energy of the tarot and astrology. And now we're going to put it all together and create a little bit of a poem to reflect June of 2019. Do not be ashamed of mist on eyelashes, calloused palms that have toiled. They are the mansions of ancestors and future empires. Finding yourself in a comfortable seated position with both feet planted firmly on the floor. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, filling up your lungs completely, and then exhaling slowly, thoroughly, until there's no more air. Inhaling again, deeply until your lungs are filled. Taking one more breath in and then exhaling slowly, trying to make the exhale half the length of the inhale. And continuing with that deep breath, imagine that there is a cord that is connecting you to the sky, to heaven. feeling it entering through the crown of your head, and imagining that cord traveling down your spine, past your shoulders and your heart, down your back, towards your tailbone, until it reaches your very root. And imagine that bottom of your spine, there at the root chakra, that there are roots that are extending down even further than your body. Imagine them spreading through your legs, past your knees, to your feet, which are firmly planted on the ground. And imagine that cord has become roots. And the roots are deeply moving slowly and surely into the floor below you, watching them pass through the foundation of your house or your apartment. If there are any other floors below you, imagine them passing right through, and seeing those roots enter into the earth, extending from your feet, extending from the base of your spine. And imagine the roots going deeper and deeper into the earth, past any tree roots, past rocks, deeper and deeper towards the center of the earth. Imagine them going past crystals, stones, ancient mummified, petrified creatures. Deeper and deeper they go, past aquifers, rooting you, deeper and deeper as the earth becomes warmer and rockier, past all of the levels, past all of the molten rock. Deeper and deeper the roots go, feeling them strong and sure until they reach the very center of the earth, the core of the planet, and see them touching that core, see them penetrating it, and imagine them rooting into the very core of the earth. Now taking any leftover stress, any tension, any fear, any anxiety, and passing them down those roots, past the rocks, past the aquifers, all the way to the center of the earth, and giving that fear, giving that emotion to the very earth itself, trusting that it will be transmuted. And allowing yourself to carry this feeling of being rooted, of being one with the earth, of being supported, carrying it with you into your day, into your week, into your month. This has been Ars Poetica, giving you a little bit of a glimpse into the month of June of 2019. Move forward with a strong heart and strong roots. See you next month.